everybody, just back with you today to talk a little bit more about overcoming fear. And I want to talk about something today that we talked about a little bit in the last session. I'm just going to kind of expound on that a little bit. We're going to talk about natural fears. And the Lord created us with some natural fears, and that's to keep us alive. You know, little kids, when they're little, they don't really have natural fears, and that's why as parents we're running around constantly trying to keep them from running out in the middle of the road and running in front of traffic and things like that, because they don't have those natural fears. And as we get older and we grow up, we understand there are some things that we should naturally be afraid of, and that's not a bad thing. That's not a spirit of fear. That's nothing to feel bad about. The Lord helps us by giving us natural fears in order to keep us alive. But what the devil does, remember last time I said that the devil was opportunistic? Well, this is how he works. What he likes to do is find something that's a natural fear and kind of jump on that and take advantage of that and make it into something much bigger than it really is. And before you know it, you've fallen into his trap and you're bound by fear. So I want to talk to you just for a few minutes about some natural fears. Now, I know this from my experience, and probably 75% of the people that I have talked to who've talked to me about struggling with fear we've pinpointed that all of us, it started with some sort of natural fear. That's how it started. So the reason I'm giving you this information is power. So we want to understand how the devil works. We want to expose his schemes, right? So I've talked to people before. I talked to one lady talked to me, and she said that they had a break-in in their house. Someone broke into their house. They were not home at the time, but they came home and someone had broken into their house. Well, naturally, that would make you fearful. I don't think there's anyone watching this who would think about that situation and not think, oh, that would scare me a little bit. That would make me fearful. So obviously that would make you fearful. Well, what happened is the devil took that natural fear and he just jumped on that and he took advantage of it, and he started piling more and more and more fear on her because of that situation. And before long, she was afraid. She was battling a spirit of fear because it had crept over into other areas. That's one of the telltale signs how you know it's turning into a spirit of fear. But we'll talk about that more on the next session. I had a wreck. This has been many years ago, 17 years ago. A drunk driver hit me, rear-ended me. I was dead stopped in the road waiting to turn, and a drunk driver never touched her brakes and rear-ended me. Well, I'm gonna tell you, the first couple times I got in a car after that, I was fearful. Well, that's normal. That is a normal fear. But that would be a great opportunity for the devil to jump on that and just start piling fear on me. I know some people who had a woman who had a very severe illness. Well, that's a great opportunity. That would make you fearful. Naturally, you would be kind of fearful. If you found out you had some sort of illness, you would be fearful. But that's also a great opportunity for the devil to start piling fear on you and mess with your mind and start trying to make that into even more than it is. The reason the devil works like that is because he's not going to come. If I've never been in a car accident, that drunk driver had never hit me, the devil wouldn't have wasted his time coming to me and saying, oh, you should be worried about being in the car. You should be fearful about driving. You might have an accident. Someone might hit you, because that really hadn't crossed my mind. He wouldn't, if I had never had some sort of sickness or illness, he probably wouldn't mess with me in that way. If that lady that her house had been broken into, if that had never happened, the devil probably would not have started with that on her. It's when we have some incident, something that causes some sort of natural fear, what happens is it kind of cracks the door open. And boy, if the devil sees a crack like that, he just jumps on it. So I want you to understand, if you have struggled with fear, you can probably trace it back to some sort of natural, normal fear in your life that the devil took that and exploited that for his purposes. And the reason, again, that I'm talking about this is because you need to understand the way he works. Part of what brings deliverance from the schemes of the enemy or the devil is exposure, us just understanding the way he works and how he takes advantage of situations. And when we do that, then our eyes are open. First of all, it helps us escape from a trap of fear if we've already fallen into it. Second of all, it keeps us from falling into another trap of fear. When our eyes are open and we're aware and we know that this is the way he works. So again, if you are struggling with that, bring those thoughts into captivity. Don't let the devil exploit those natural fears and make them into something so much greater than they need to be. Bring those thoughts into captivity, because we are overcomers. We can overcome fear. We do not have to be bound in fear. So we will talk about this again in the next session, a little bit more about a natural fear versus when we kind of fall into a spirit of fear and the devil is really messing with us. We'll talk about that next time. I'm so happy to see you again today, and have a blessed day.